Hello friends, welcome to another episode of the Riflechair channel. This is less of a gun video than it is a gun story. Now many of you out there, like me, have gone to different, should we say, pistol and rifle competitions, both civilian and for some of you also military. Now I went to a very interesting competition. It was both, the skill of musketry and pistol in a place called Plzeň in the Czech Republic many years ago. I thought what I'd do for this video is tell you a little bit about it. Specifically, we're going to be talking about one pistol, mind you, so there is a gun-related content to this video. A pistol I think many of you out there know about and believe in yourselves. We went to the Czech Republic. Essentially what this competition consisted of was the following, should we say, marathon. 5 days traveling. 5 days just in traveling. Okay. Hamburg, Germany, and then on to Prague in the Czech Republic. But 5 days basically jet setting, 2 days of actual gunning, 1 day of rest. And it was a badly needed day of rest. Just between the jet lag and the busy schedule and shooting a competition, familiarizing yourself with, the language, and just the journey itself was a marathon in and of itself. So essentially an 8-day event. 1 day which was actually spent shooting. Now where is Plzeň, and why does that name sound familiar? Well, Plzeň is about a 2.5 hour drive southwest of Prague after you land at the airport. And it is the birthplace of Pilsner beer. The name of the city is Plzeň. Okay? So it has a how should we say, a global appreciation for that city. This was a military shooting competition, so it was for reserve forces only. And it spanned 2 days, actually more of 1 day and a half. So you show up for the first day, after you've kind of oriented yourself, got yourself to where you need to be, find your barracks, where we're going to be. Okay, we're going to find this location, trying to map it out, do basic orientation and mapping skills. Find the range facility, which was beautiful. The city of Plzeň. Plzeň Lobzy, I think, was the terminology used at the time. So the evening before the competition, we had administration, safety indoctrination, which was done by this famous guy. Actually, he's over there. This famous guy, if you type in the CZ75 SP01 Phantom, his face will pop up. So he did the safety indoctrination, pretty famous guy. Discussed the spirit of the match, which was essentially the art of aiming off, and also weapons familiarization. Now you have to remember that Canadian soldiers, especially in the reserves, they are used to running a pistol similar to this one, this English high power. Magazine is empty. This is the English high power, single action only pistol. Now, Canadian forces know this pistol upside down, inside out. Okay, great pistols. Getting a bit long in the tooth. Been running them since World War II. Okay, if it wasn't for that huge Chinese contract, we wouldn't have had these to keep us going for so long. We have a new design that's going to be coming out here pretty soon. What was interesting, though, about going to the Czech Republic was that the Czech Republic had adopted a new pistol, and it was the CZ75 SP01 Phantom. We were going to shoot that pistol. It was double action, single action, so there's definitely a little bit of weapons familiarization that is required for a Canadian soldier before he's going to go out and use this weapon, this new technology. Now, for sure, for many of you out there, a double action, single action pistol is nothing new. I mean, the technology's been out for a long, long, long time. However, Canada be using this Browning high power, or I should say English high powered technology, FN, for so many years. That's, if that is your pistol world, then that is your pistol world. There is no double action, single action alternative out there necessarily for reserve forces in Canada. That is about to change. So the weapons familiarization part was very, very much appreciated. So we went through the process, met the famous guy, did basic administration, talked about the spirit of the match, aiming off, and then weapons familiarization. And then on day 2, we're going straight to shooting. Now, the spirit of the match really starts to take hold here, this part of the story. The Canadians did have a translator, thankfully, but I do not think that she was well versed in firearms terminology. And so therefore, you would see her thinking about what it was she was trying to translate for us, but it didn't really translate. It didn't come out in the wash. Because we weren't getting really told what everybody else was being told that was able to speak the Czech language. Anyhow, there were many countries there. The firearms we were shooting was the CZ75 SP01 Phantom, as we have here. We'll talk a little bit more about this pistol. And it was the CZ805 Bren. That is not going to be the subject of this video. We're just going to talk about the pistol. Many countries arrived. I mean, Poland was there, Slovakia was there, obviously a large contingent from the Czech Republic. Germans were there. Germans didn't want to hang with us. They were kind of standoffish. They were their own. They didn't meld. They didn't mingle. They didn't discuss. But that's okay. We didn't talk to any of the Germans, but talked to a lot of Czech people. Fantastic people in the Czech Republic. I just have so much respect for the people of the Czech Republic. Not only for their firearms technology, their domestic firearms industry, but just how well built the country is, how educated the people of the Czech Republic are. When they speak English to you, it's almost like as good as mine. Not quite, but incredible to me. It's just incredible to me. We went to a Kentucky Fried Chicken, and all of the men and women inside that place were wearing suits and ties, and even the females were wearing a proper suit. So that was interesting. Love the Czech Republic. Many countries arrived to shoot this competition. Now the spirit of the competition is to aim off. So if you get 2 sighting shots and then you get 10 for score, and then you move on to the next round. We're all shooting Czech firearms. Nobody, Germans, the Poles, the Slovakians, there were many more, Canadians. The Brits and the Americans, they weren't there. But Canada sent a contingent. Anyway, getting back to the spirit of the competition, which is basically aiming off. This was not clearly communicated to us for one reason or another. Everybody else seemed to know this. They said that some firearms are going to be off a lot, or some firearms are going to be off not at all. I mean, each shooter is individually different, but what we didn't understand was that some of the sights were significantly set off on purpose. We still came out very well in the standings, by the way. Anyway, 2 aiming shots and 10 versus score. There was one that we started off with deliberate matches, then we went to snap shooting matches, then we went to full rapid fire matches, and pretty much in that sequence, it was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed the pistol, and so much so that I acquired one for myself once I got back home. It took many years for me to find this thing. They're very affordable, and they're hell of a pistol. So anyway, Canadians did well. We actually were on the podium. We actually did receive an award. However, afterwards, it was very interesting. This is the only time the Germans let their hair down. I guess you would say. They actually relaxed a bit. And that was after the ceremonies and all the medals had been given off, and I got a really cool knife from the Czechs. But there was some drinking afterwards, and Canadians were under orders not to drink, and so we didn't. Now, Canadians get to go out and play with some pretty cool technology every once in a while, and that's really cool. Everybody was ramping it up, having a good time this afterwards. All the guns are away, been taken away, put in the lock up, and we're in the city of Pilsen, the birthplace of Pilsner beer. Guess what they were drinking? They were having a good time, having a yahoo. But we didn't. We just sat there at the table and ate soup. Oh well. We were under orders. Anyway, let's talk about the pistol now, okay? Now, the commercially available CZ75 SP01 Phantom, it is available in Canada, it is available in the United States, but you don't see them very often. They're priced very fairly, in my opinion. They're priced pretty much the same as about a Glock, okay? And they don't weigh much more, if maybe even lighter than a Glock, I'm not sure, but it's about the same. Polymer lower and a solid steel upper. I'm not going to get into too much specifications here. I mean, there's tons of Phantom videos out there, but this particular pistol really grooved with me, not only because it's attached to fond memories of meeting Czech soldiers, having good conversations with them. What do they think of Vladimir Putin? You'd be surprised at what they think of him. What's going on with migration in Europe? They had an opinion on that. Maybe one of the reasons why the Germans were a little bit not necessarily concerned, but quiet, is because the Czechs do not accept the euro as their currency. They want to use the domestic currency for all transactions when and whenever they can. They will accept euros if that's all you got, but they won't be happy about it. So that says something about what's going on over in Europe. Anyway, this was a long time ago, mind you. This pistol, it's a great pistol, I think. I mean, for me, especially if you're going to be using gloved hands, is because of the enlarged trigger area that you see here for getting a gloved finger in there. It's great. Whereas unlike the high power, there's a lot less room. So certainly the pistol was designed for a military that is used to existing in a colder environment. The width of the pistol grip here is very light, especially compared to, say, this Inglis, which has a much wider grip, a very comfortable grip, mind you, but there is a fairly significant difference that way so far as the width of the grip. The SP01 does have varying grip sizes that you can insert into here. But I'm fine with the small. Don't need to get bigger. The sights are not the original military, the commercial versions that you can get here in Canada. Maybe you can in the United States, but the original military sights on these things did have a tritium insert, so they would glow in the dark. I mean, not glow in the dark. They give off lots of light. And these ones do not. They are glow in the dark, but they are not tritium impregnated. Anyway, I think this is a great pistol. I think maybe Canada, if we were going to replace the English, we should consider something to this effect. The rail on here it's hell for stout. It's lightweight. It's obviously robust, and in my opinion, it shoots pretty well too. I'll throw in some targets here of some of the different groups that I shot with it. This is today. I got out of the house, breathed some fresh air. The snow has finally melted away, and did some shooting with this pistol. And I've had it for a while. I've had this since the fall of 2018. and only taking it out once or twice to shoot. Some of the things that you may come into may be a bit of a problem for you here in Canada if you're to acquire this pistol is to try to find a holster. The SP01 Shadow holsters apparently will not fit these polymer lowered pistols, and so trying to find a holster that will work well for you here in Canada might be a little bit difficult. Trying to get that kind of stuff across the border from the United States, where it is not a problem to find, may be a bit of a problem. Things have a tendency to stop at the border and get sent back. Our border services people do a fantastic job. They and so on, but getting firearms related components across the border can be a problem sometimes. So there is a domestic provider that manufactured this for me, solely Canadian. It's a great holster. I love it, and no problems at all. In fact, he's even got kits, I think, where you can make your own. Recommend them, solely Canadian. But other than that, well, let's roll in some footage of the pistol shooting. I will say I talked about using this pistol with gloved hands, and I used some winter gloves in this thing, and I wanted to make sure they were the finger gloves that had kind of a square end to the fingertip, because I wanted to see if I could get that to work, and I did manage to get it to work running a drill. However, I think if you're going to be running any pistol, that was just an experiment that I ran. I think if you're going to be running any pistol, is that your conventional winter gloves is not going to work for you, but maybe something like mechanics gloves would be sufficient, so long as you don't have a lot of space in between your finger and the end of the glove. So I have this big flap, you know, it'll be a problem for you, but I managed to make it work, and safely. It's about doing it safely. Again, like I said, this is less of a gun video and more of a story. Hope you guys are all doing great. Cheers, and as always, Maple Leaf up.
Samostatně. Pálek! Pálek!
One thing I will say about this pistol here is that the trigger reset is pretty far forward. Anyway, this is what the Blazer did. Certainly nothing to write home to your mother about. It's all in the red.